Hello and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford and joining me in this episode is my good man, Mr. Alan Sterling. Alan, well, we've kind of recovered for during the week there, so it's time to talk, time to get back into it, mate. How are you? And I hope you're well. Had a good week, mate. Friday, end of the week, mate, so I hope you're very well.
Morning everyone that's watching. Yeah, very well. I think if Tuesday night you'd maybe asked me that same question right after the game, maybe no so. But when you've had kind of time to reflect on a heroic performance, shall we say, we really stepped up to the mark against one of kind of Europe's best. I was massively impressed with how we performed. Obviously, it was a really sore one to take, the kind of last minute goal. But after you've had time to kind of reflect on how we played, yeah, I think each to a man, every player should be proud of ourselves because we really showed that we can kind of step up to that level, and that can only bode well for future years if we can kind of keep this team together and improve on it. So, yeah, so what to take, but when you sit back and kind of look at it, it's still a positive.
Yeah, obviously going to Bayern Munich. I think a lot of people outside maybe Celtic would have probably said we would probably go and get a bit of a doing. I was trying my best to be positive. Well, listen, look, maybe try and get an early goal, try and see how they play, see how it goes to half time, and then when we go to half time, I'm like, right, really good start here. Let's see how we go in the second half. But part of me was like, right, are they going to come out here all guns blazing? If we kind of woke a sleeping bear here, and then it didn't happen, Marlon. We continued the same way, and I thought the manager get his team selection spot on. I know there was talk about would Ida play, would Maeda play at left, would Taylor play, would Slip play, and I think maybe on hindsight, again, it's not the manager's fault because sometimes you've got to play certain players or maybe due to fitness, etc. Maybe if we played that first team, but the first game, the team that we played against Munich in the second leg, maybe a different outcome. Who knows? It's something we can't obviously tell because Slip made a difference when he came on the first leg, and so did obviously when Maeda up front. But take away nothing for obviously the Heartache of the last minute goal, Alan. I thought the manager get his tactics spot on, his team lineup spot on. We looked well drilled, well coached. Everything was just probably the best in my lifetime. What I've seen take away Seville, Alan, and some of their performances in terms of Champions League performance away from home. It's probably the best I've seen, mate.
Yeah, it was definitely up there. I'd probably say one that comes to mind in a away performance similar that we got done in the last minute with a dodgy penalty was Juventus with Martin O'Neill away. Nicola Marusso dived. So, aye, no, it was evident that every single player was absolutely kind of set to run. We were well organised, well drilled. Every player had specific instructions how to carry out a game plan, and they've done it basically to a T. Obviously, we've came away from the tie without kind of progressing, but when you look at the mammoth task that was ahead of us against kind of one of Europe's elite, it was always going to be kind of a minor miracle that was needed for a team with your value to come up against kind of Bayern Munich's level. So yeah, I thought the team was absolutely spot on. Would it have been different if it started that at Celtic Park? We'll never know. But you look at the difference that kind of Dyson Maeda makes in comparison to Adam Ida. It's night and day. Jeffrey Schlupp, considering he's only played a couple of games for us, come in there all night and it was absolutely astonishing, absolutely brilliant, outstanding. So you're looking at it's positives to take for that. We know that we can compete at that level now. We know we're capable of that. We know that we can play up to that standard. So it's all about kind of kicking on for that. I know it's hard to say that just now when we've just been eliminated for kind of the European competition, but we need to try and take positives for that because for me it was a great performance against kind of a massive side, and yeah, it was a bit hard to take, but at the end of the day it was a great performance.
We comment from MT Celts. Morning, guys. Just to come on to say you were right about Jeffrey slip against Bayern. He played a blinder. I'm sold. And he says he was also wrong. It's not about being wrong at all. It's just about opinions. And obviously, we thought Jeffrey Slip was the right man at the time. Some people thought Taylor because he's experienced. So it's not maybe it's not the fact you were wrong. It's just opinions. And Jeffrey Slip obviously performed very well on the night. And I actually think, Alan, that he's again, Greg Taylor will play at the end of the season. He will play games, but he's kind of put himself in that position now. In my opinion, mate, it's his to lose now. After that performance, I know Greg Taylor's, as people will say, it's very hard for Taylor to be shut out just like that. But the performance, Alan, was that good that Taylor will need to perform between the now and end of the season to keep his jersey in that team, because not just Taylor, by the way, either Yang, a lot of guys, McCowan, guys who are on the bench, will find that they'll need to perform all the time now to keep in to get in that team, because if that's the way the team are going to be playing a lot of the season, Alan, and even next season, guys will find it hard to play in that team, because if they're consistently like that, then like you says, mate, the fact that we've shown now there's no narrative now that we can't compete now. For years it's been a financial gap, which there still is financial gap, let's be fair, still a massive financial gap, but it was always we can't buy players to compete at this level and this and that. I think now we've kind of, especially the outside noise of Scotland, the English pundits and maybe a foreign, the kind of foreign side media, that's kind of away now. Celtic can't compete. We're not the whipping boys anymore of this getting to Dortmund every season and but PSG getting beat. That's no the case. We've shown now that we can go to these teams and put a performance and actually compete against these teams now.
Yeah. Regards to the comment, it was more a kind of calculated guess for us. I think we haven't seen a great deal of evidence from Jeffrey Sloop. It was only a couple of appearances, but what we did see, we've seen more physicality, we've seen maybe a bit more aggression, shall we say, that he was able to kind of deal with kind of players. So, yeah, it just looked as if he was maybe the better option than Greg Taylor. I think that probably was proven to be right. And for us at Jeffrey Sloop, obviously we've got Kieran Tierney coming in the summer. But if there was a deal able to be made, obviously as a free agent, if we were able to kind of afford him in terms of kind of backup to Kieran Tierney, I think that would be a great bit of business for what I've seen so far. There's still a bit of time to judge, but he started his Celtic career in a magnificent style. You can't really say much wrong about him because he's been performing really well. And I think obviously putting up that kind of performance against a top level side like Bayern Munich, that's only going to enhance what the Celtic fans and your reputation they make of you. So yeah, it is one of the ones that we know now that we are capable of stepping up to that level. We know now that we are capable of competing to a certain degree. We need to step it on a bit now, step it up, because we can't stand still. Obviously, we'd like to keep this team together, but there's capacity there for us to improve in that as well. So hopefully, going into the next season's Champions League, we can step it up and maybe get past that into around the 16. So yeah, it's positive. Obviously, as I said previously, it didn't feel too positive right after the game on Tuesday. It felt like a kick in the you know what's, but after you've had time to kind of reflect on the performance that we watched the other night, it's definitely a positive for me.
Wee comment from Brown Warrior there. Can he keep trotting out the financial gap as an excuse after run like this? I've watched teams come to Celtic and their own domestic setup who gave us problems as we all have. Tactics are key as quality. No, you're spot on, Brown. Tactics are key to quality, and obviously you need the quality of manager and players to carry out the game plan. And I don't think we can use. I don't think we can use any excuse now. Not just Celtic, you could be name across the water. I don't think we can use the excuse in terms of financial gap too much. You can use it to certain degrees, i.e., playing Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich to a certain degree, but when you know you can now do that performance and that way of playing, then one or two bits of more quality maybe can win you the games or compete even more in the games. So I'm not saying signing 2 or 3 more players are going to beat the teams, but they'll definitely enhance you, Alan, to continue to compete. And I do feel that as long as we're in the Champions League, I think you'll see signings like your Engels that either money 6 and 7 millions, but I think it's going to be sustainable. So we need to be in Europe every single season for that to happen, because we don't want to drop in Europa League or no by Europe eventually, because that means you're not going to spend that money and you need to have cutbacks and everything else. But I think the longer we're in this format qualifying, Alan, you're going to get probably at least 38 million without the ticket sales and your merchandise and everything else, plus the season books already to start the seasons, everything else. So as long as we're in this continuous spiral of qualifying for Europe, Alan, I think we'll bridge any gap that people are saying. There's always going to be a tiny gap, a wiggle room for signing players. But if you do your recruitment right with the money you've got, which we've kind of have this season, it just shows you what you can actually get to if you coincide with the tactics and the quality of players.
Obviously, the draw is probably more favourable than we'll get most years. I think that's probably a given. But that's up to us to kind of step up to the mark. I think that you're looking at, we've given Brendan a certain amount of what he's asked for to do the job. Let's go out and properly back him. Give him everything he wants. He didn't get his desired striker that he wanted in the January window. Would that have made a difference? Who knows? So we're in a good place just now, obviously financially and on the park. So this is probably the spot on time to kind of kick on. We're releasing kind of financial figures that are absolutely absurd considering where we've been in the past. Just seems as if we've got money coming from everywhere. So yeah, it can, as I say, it can only be kind of positive. It can only be, we need to, as you say, we need to kind of continue this by qualifying every year. Hopefully we get to a stage that we build up enough coefficient that we are, maybe the next 2 years, 3 years, we are kind of getting directly back into the Champions League. But we need to make sure this summer as well that we bring in the transfers quick enough, because the playoff game, I think that's just at the start of August or something. So we need to make sure we're prepared, no kind of last minute signings, etc. We need to make sure we provide the best kind of version of Celtic possible. And if that means we're bringing in new players and make sure they're ready to go for these kind of qualifying Champions League games, then we need to make sure that they're ready for that. We can't have the excuse again, oh, it's a hard transfer window, etc. These players need to be in, because it's absolutely humongous that we, massively important that we qualify for this Champions League stage, because that's how we continue to progress. We keep bringing in that money and then we keep investing that money. So yeah, the summer transfer window is going to be massively important, just like any other one.
No, I agree with you, Alan. I think obviously we've seen roughly who we might get, and again, I'm not going to sit and say we are this massive European team anymore. I'm not going to sit and say that we're this because of how well we've done, that's us entitled to win every qualifying game. I'm not saying that, but the teams that are rumoured to be linked to them, who we could be playing in the summer, you'd like to think with the team we've got and maybe added quality to that, massive chance, shall I say. I don't want to say we're going to go and do it, but you'd be pretty disappointed if you maybe didn't, because some of the teams that were beat before, like Bratislava and stuff, so there's a very good chance that we're going to qualify, especially even with the team we've got now. But I think the left back came in Tierney, so that's kind of done. You're going to have defensively, I think you'd be sound as long as you have any injuries in pre-season. Your back four is going to be the back four probably for the qualifier, or the playoff round, whatever it's going to be. Schmeichel probably in goals. Your midfield's roughly going to be the same. If Heartache goes or he stays, He's probably the only one I think could potentially go in the summer, if he was to go, that is. But then you have got Bernardo there. You could get somebody else that come in. So you're kind of prepared to a degree. You only need to add to what you've got. And I think, for me, Alan, the biggest thing I noticed for during the week, which I know Bernardo's injured, so that's obviously no helped, is probably the bench. I think the manager did kind of say it. He didn't want to criticise anybody, but he did say that maybe some help off the bench. And so that's maybe in the summer, Alan, it's something we maybe need to look at. And I know you can't go and spend £10 million in guys to play in the bench, but maybe a wee bit of help off the bench could have helped us. I don't know. That's no need in Yang because they're on the best, but what the manager's made a wee bit added quality to help him could have helped us. And I think that next year, that's what we need to look at, is the bench, maybe to help the guys, obviously come off the bench, but take away what we're saying here, Alan, in terms of the summer window. That's obviously we can touch on in a few months' time. But I'm still a wee bit sick of how it happened. But obviously, as I mentioned in the chat, the comments was obviously, it's actually really been spoken about the Maeda situation where he got elbowed, and there was obviously nothing with VAR. For me, I think it's a Stonewall foul. I don't know how it's not been looked at or brought back. I don't know why. I don't know if there was any explanation. Again, is it worth Celtic asking for it? Don't know what the game's done. I don't know. But for me, if that's at Bayern Munich end, is that getting pulled back? Probably. So I'm going to say that could have cost us, but that you've still got to go and defend the cross. I get all that, but for me, Alan, I think that's a foul, and it could have been, it should have been brought back.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's definitely contact. Whether that was deliberate or not, I don't think it was, but he's obviously infringed the player. So you would think if VR would have a look at that and think about kind of pulling that back, the attacking phase of play. So, yeah, it's not really something I kind of think about now. It's been and gone now. The more I think about that, you're getting flashbacks of how horrible it was to finish the game in that manner. So, it is what it is. I think we gave a proper brilliant account of ourselves as a football club and a football team. I think you're right about the strength and depth as well. Aye, Yang had a good 20 minutes when he come on against Bayern Munich in the first leg. Yeah, there's no doubt in that. But is he doing it anywhere near consistently? Not by a shadow, not anywhere near enough. So when Brendan's looked at that bench, does the quality dip when he's kind of bringing people on for the bench? You'd probably say so. Is Adamida, not that I want to have another go, but is Adamida kind of stepping up to the mark since Kyogo's left? Scored goals, but Brendan is kind of now bringing in Maeda instead of Kyogo. And whereas we thought kind of Adamida was the main guy up front, it doesn't look as if Brendan thinks it that way. One of the most important games of the season, they're playing against Europe's elite, and he plays kind of Diaz and Maeda through the middle. So, yeah, I think in the summer we do need to look at a bit of strength and depth. We need to add a bit of quality into that because it is a squad game, as you know. I think the majority of games that we play, we use the kind of minimum of 4 subs. Usually the maximum are kind of 5. So it's a squad game, and anybody that's on that bench needs to be prepared to come on and step up to the same level as the guys that were starting the game. So it's, as I say, it's when you reflect on the game, it still is a massive kind of positive. It's still, you can probably hear my voice, it's still disappointing just to kind of reflect on the matter because we who thought we were going to take the lead against kind of Bayern Munich at the Allianz? It was, it was incredible, and to have that prospect to take the extra time kind of snatched away for you at the last minutes. It's a sore one to take, but I'm trying to be positive. You look back, and it was a heroic performance to a man. Absolutely, every single player you look at, I thought they were all incredible. You could look at certain players, but I think every single player was just kind of 9 and 10s out of 10. I thought they were absolutely incredible, and they should be very proud of that performance.
Like Peter says there, to a man, like you says yourself, Alan, they were fantastic on Tuesday. I was just really impressed at how disciplined they were, Alan, how drilled they were, how well coached they looked. It was just, I couldn't believe what I was watching, to be honest with you. Now, I've always got faith in Celtic, but there's normally certain parts of European games away from home, right? Or it's maybe 5 minutes in or 5 minutes into half time's a goal, you're thinking, oh, typical away from home, that's us, man. But it wasn't like that. Everything was brilliant. They were so composed in the ball, they were playing out for the
We
back.
had our chances and all that.
Aye,
That's what I mean. We had
aye. But
some
what
good
I was really
chances.
what I was impressed with, Alan, was the fact that what we did domestically, we were doing against Bayern Munich. We were playing the ball out for the back and corners and playing, and I was like, this is brilliant. But we were going from attacking to defending within seconds. We were set up properly, and that's a Celtic team. That's what we've wanted for years away from home, to go and attack when need be, but defend, because sometimes away from home in Europe defensively, everything just doesn't happen for us. See, especially in the first half, there's shots going breaking off defenders, nobody in the net, but they were going wide, and I'm thinking, right, are we going to do this here? And then, like you said, when we get a goal, you're thinking, you're like, come on, man, let's just calm down here. And then, but like you say, missed chances, did we do it? Possibly. They are probably the only small criticism you can say is maybe take your chances. That's the only thing I can say, Alan, because everything else, Michael saves he made, that's why he's there. Like you said, I thought Arthur Johnson was back to his best. Trust at the bat, I thought they were brilliant. I thought Engels was tremendous. Heartache ran his heart out again. I seen some snippets on a Twitter page. People were being critical, and I'm thinking, like, come on, like, if you're being critical of a Celtic team after that performance, get up, go and watch cricket. Honest to God, it's crazy, man. You can't. I know it's hard to take a defeat, or no defeat, but a draw like that in the last second of the ball and it puts you. I know it's hard, but you can't be critical of the team after that. That's just, for me, Alan, it's a kick in the stones because of what happened at the end. But over the piece, if you says you would be a minute away from potentially going to extra time against Bayern Munich, he'd have probably says, I'll take the heartache, because nobody would have seen that conclusion happen.
Definitely, mate. There shouldn't be any criticism. When you're playing against that kind of level of opposition, there's no way we can criticise the team. They've stepped up, and especially we spoke about the other day with William how important the kind of midfield battle is in most games, and especially this game. And I think the three midfielders we got, I think they stepped up to a level that we've probably not seen for them before. I thought Callum, Hatate and Engels were absolutely incredible. Every player was, but when you're kind of concentrating on that midfield battle, I think that's a lot why we were able to kind of create the chances that we had. Kind of decent parts of the game that we had some decent possession, and I think that midfield three was second to none. I was massively impressed with them. The whole team. They should. Well, you seen some of the kind of pictures after the game, how upset the kind of certain individuals were. But it's going to do that. We probably felt with that kind of sitting here. So if you're on that part, that's been kind of snatched away from you in the dying moments. It's going to affect you. Let's hope kind of Brendan's get rid of the players and put across how proud they should be after that performance, and we can kind of kick on for the rest of the season and make sure we make it a treble winning season. So, so looking forward to it.
I think that's the thing, and obviously it's going to be it's going to be hard to probably to kind of go and like maybe tomorrow and go right for Bayern Munich to that is if we don't play well tomorrow, or if we do get a defeat or we draw or everything else, I don't want anybody to be critical of the players because they come down from that to that. It's going to take like you say, that they're human beings. It's going to take its toll. It might be doing, and listen, that's what he says about the manager there. It's like the manager and McGregor and to kind of get right, guys, like let's try and forget about it. We've still got a treble to go and win if we can. Go and get a treble. We've still got a league to win. It's no finished in terms of points wise. Like, it's still possible. It's no obviously it's going to be ridiculously hard for anybody else to win the league. It's 20 years, but you can't go right. The league's finished. Technically, it possibly could be, aye, but mathematically it's not. So we can't sit here and say right now it's done. You still need to go and carry your duty and go forward in the league domestically. But I think I'm agreeing with you, mate, that the players need to take stock and how be proud. Obviously, didn't go through, but performance wise and everything else took into it. Bayern were worried. When we were 1-0 up, you could tell they were worried. Company was charging up and doing, and he was panicking. Because he knew that the backlash after that would be humongous. It's definitely not the best Bayern team I've seen. I thought they were pretty slow, they were pretty ponderous. Was that because they were playing themselves, or was it because we made them be like that? I think a bit of both. I think we didn't make them play the way they played, but I think partly they were just waiting to pounce. We were waiting for a mistake, but it didn't happen. Years gone by, a mistake would have happened and they would have scored, but a mistake didn't happen. And for me, Alan, I just thought we were brilliant the full game, and it's still hard to comprehend that we didn't get a result. We got a result, we got a draw, but we didn't actually take the extra time and listen to Alan, who knows, extra time. Could have been tired, we could have burnt out, or we could have got a second or third win and we could have went and won. Listen, nobody knows. It's probably one for the pub talking, and 2 years' time, we could have won all that. Do you know what I mean? It's who knows, but I think overall, mate, before we touch on the Hibs game, I think it is. You've got to take stock of the game and realise how well we've done. And I think maybe in the summer, like you say, mate, 2 or 3 extra added quality to that team. Back the manager. I think that's the thing I can say now is the board need to take stock of how well we've done. How good the manager's been for us since he came back, how well he's put it this way, Alan, he still was, well, in my opinion, his first protocol was obviously to win the league and everything else, but he came back to make Celtic better in Europe, and he's done that. So you now need to give him, I'm not saying go and spend £70 million, I'm not saying that. You need to, within your means, sustainable, but maybe be a bit braver in the market. Go and add to the manager, help him. If it's going to sign 2 guys at £11 million, then go and do it. As long as it's sustainable and as long as the process is right, back him, because you know for a fact he's going to progress you. He's going to make guys better. For me, he's made Engels better already when he's come in. He's made guys like Matt O'Reilly better last year when he came in. He's made probably Maeda better. He's made Kuhn look a superstar. Not a superstar to the world superstar, but in terms of us, he's brought Jota back, who for me was brilliant as well. So trust him, give him what he needs, and you know for a fact you're going to improve.
Definitely. I think you've seen the organisational skills that we had within the team Tuesday. I think Brendan he's went into depth and explained exactly what's going to be needed for that game, and the players have carried it out to a man. So there's no doubt about it that we do have probably one of the best managers we've ever had in terms of coaching ability, and the players have stood up to that challenge as well. So it's very important that there'll be teams that are watching these kind of players as well, but watching these games. So it's very important that we're able to kind of try and keep hold of this kind of team together and add to it. But you look at the amount of finance we've brought in because of the points we've accumulated in this competition, because of progressing into the kind of playoff round. So if we're investing in Brendan and we are kind of giving them that money to bring in that wee bit of added quality, then it's paying for itself, because you've seen there how much kind of money we're bringing in. So for me, it's an investment. It's not really, we'll give you money to go to buy players. We're investing so that we can kind of get that money back and more in the Champions League. So Aye, it can only be positive going forward, but I just hope that you've seen over the last number of years, sometimes Celtic have got a tendency to maybe go, oh, everything's all right, we'll stand still. This isn't the time to do that. This is the time that you put the foot in the gas and kind of motor forward, motor on, because we've got the ideal opportunity now. We're showing the fans, we're showing kind of teams in Europe that we are capable of stepping up to this level of performance. We are capable of getting results. We are capable of kind of accumulating that number of points that takes us into a playoff position. So there's no doubt that we're in a extremely strong position on the field and financially, and we need that wee bit of kind of bravery. We need that wee bit of bravery to kick on, and let's keep improving. There's no kind of there's no time to stand still in kind of football. So let's keep improving. Let's back the manager, as you says, and see where that takes us. See how far we can go. We're not going to be kind of getting to finals of the Champions League, etc. But let's see if we can keep up that level of performances and that the kind of results, and maybe we can, one step at a time, go that extra round, get into the last 16 next year. Maybe that's a goal. So it's small steps at a time, but I think we can all say that it was a massive positive in terms of what we watched the other night, in comparison to what we've seen in years gone past, and in comparison to maybe what we've seen Dortmund and last year, etc. So yeah, it's a big step forward, but let's keep making these steps forward. That's what I'd say.
No, I agree with you, mate. You've got to keep moving forward, especially now what we've seen. We've got to keep being proactive in terms of improving the squad, and the squad is good enough as it is now, but you still need to keep adding. So sorry, I do feel that I've always said it, Aaron. As much as you don't want to go gung ho and spend too much money, spend the money and just say Engels for talking shit, right? £11 million is quoted that we pay from. I think potentially it's up to 12 or 13 add-ons, whatever. You've kind of paid that back by doing what you've done in Europe. Yeah. So by winning trophies, by getting to the latter stages of European competitions, or getting to the format at least, if you do then spend, just say this summer we go and spend £30 million, right? But we qualify for the Champions League, it's brought back. That 30 million, that's brought back. And if you get a few wins in the format and you potentially do then qualify for the last 16, 32, whatever the format is, then the money's getting brought back in. So I've always said that, Aaron, sometimes you need to buy a bit more quality, because that quality might actually bring you success, and then with success brings you financial advantages. So obviously within reason, you don't want to go and spend like 60 million knowing that you might not get 60 million back in again. That's stupid. But spend money that knowing it's going to add to the, obviously listen, signings can be gambles, I get that, right? But if you know roughly who you're signing, i.e. Brendan obviously know who he's signing Engels, because he's proven now that he can date for Celtic. He's proven that he can date in Europe. So he's proven that he's probably one of the first teams in the team sheet now, Engels for me. So aye, be a bit braver in the market. Give the manager what he needs. Because in previous years, again, when he went to Leicester, there was rumours that he wanted, I think it was it Justin James and Castagna at Celtic. But obviously we couldn't afford them due to the financial aspect. As soon as he went to Leicester, he signed them. So, and they did all right from at Leicester. So he's obviously got an eye for a player. When Celtic kind of spend a bit of good money, no one works out. You've seen it with Trusty, Vickers. He has worked, so he's scored goals. He's helped us last year. Engels has worked so far, so spend a wee bit of money and it helps you, Alan. So I'm agreeing you on that, mate. I know you're probably the same as me on that, and I think a lot of Celtic fans will be the same. As long as you're spending money within your suitabilities and you're spending it wisely, and you're giving the manager that wee bit added kind of financial wiggle room to go and get maybe a certain player, it's not going to help us, Alan.
Every transfer's a risk, right? But we need to make sure that it's a calculated risk. We need to make sure we've got the infrastructure, a scouting network, a decent kind of director of football, whoever deals with recruitment. We need to make sure that's all right, and then we can trust that calculated risk most times is going to work. So then you have the confidence to kind of go out and spend that wee bit extra. If we've got a track record of bringing in players that actually it's effective, we're bringing in players that have got quality. So if we've got that track record, then that means we can spend that little bit more, gamble that little bit more, risk it, because we know most of the time that it's going to be successful. But it's all about kind of speculate to accumulate. We're never going, as I said the other day, we can't be kind of naive, we can't be silly and think we're going to go out and spend 20 million on a player. It's just not going to happen. We can stretch it a bit for what we've paid to kind of the likes of Engels and Ida. Can we kind of push it forward maybe another couple of million? Yeah, that's within our capabilities financially. You need to take into account, obviously, the wage structure as well. Can we push that a wee bit further? I think so. But we're not going to be spending kind of way beyond our means. I still think we're going to be spending kind of sensibly as well. It's when we're looking at trying to be smart, kind of wise signings, shall we say. So, aye, it's looking positive just now. Let's just not stand still and let's kind of take it forward a notch and back the manager and see where we go.
Quite a good point there as well from Brown Warrior. He's basically saying, Alan, that every player we bring in should be able to come in and contribute, but we need to try and upgrade if possible in positions, which is he's probably right, or she, sorry. They're probably right, and that there's certain positions that we've upgraded, or obviously Kieran Tierney came in. I'd probably imagine you might need another centre back possibly to come in as well and help with Trusty Vickers. Scales is decent, but I think to progress in Europe, to keep going in Europe, I think maybe somebody to come in with him to have four, because Narovski's probably not going to be here. Welsh is probably not going to come back. I'd imagine he won't come back. Lagerbielke won't come back, so you'll need to sign somebody else. So to go with Scales, so that would be your four centre backs probably, and then maybe a young guy might come up. Who knows? Dane Murray is here, so he might be the fifth, fourth choice, whatever. So somebody, well, Ralph used to be with Johnson, so you need to upgrade in that. I'd like to think we would, but again, you still need people for the quota and everything else, so you need to balance out positions as well. But I think that's probably a decent comment, Alan, that we do need. Obviously, Jay Forrest is still to come back in as well. I don't know if he's fit for this weekend, but he might in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But he'll obviously add to the rest of the season as well. But I do think maybe next year to go with Kuhn, Maid and Jota, maybe not a winger, because Forrest is obviously getting older. Unless Yang improves a hell of a lot pre-season, he could, who knows. But I think another winger could be on the agenda. So I do think maybe upgrading certain people and just adding to the bench, I think it's definitely something we will be looking at. But obviously you can't go and sign 7 and 8 players because you don't want to upset the squad. I think it's maybe adding maybe 3 or 4 players, Alan, to help the team to what's here and just keep pushing on as much as we can.
Yeah, I think Brendan will be looking at any kind of possibilities he can bring in to kind of improve the squad and the first 11. So any opportunities that arise, I think he'll be looking at probably at least another striker as well. I think he obviously wanted another striker in January, so I think that may be the kind of priority position. I think we've already sorted out the kind of left back. But I think it probably will be 2 strikers that he brings in. Although Dyson Maida has been absolutely incredible through the middle, I still believe that Brendan would prefer to play him kind of out wide as well. I still think that's his preferred position for Dyson Maida. So, yeah, long way to go yet. Still got more or less half a season to go. And we'll see what happens in the summer. But, yeah, hopefully we can kick that off with a win tomorrow.
Yeah, obviously tomorrow, Alan. As P. McLaughlin says, Hibs have been doing really well. They've been unbeaten since the first week of December. I didn't know that myself, P. McLaughlin, so thank you. But they have done well recently. Obviously, I think the guy, is it Nicholas Katandis or something, the midfielder? He's been doing really well recently. He started not the best to have, but he's kind of picked up recently. So again, he could be a player that could maybe Be good for them tomorrow. Obviously, Nicky Cadden as well, and Chris Cadden, they've done really well. They've run open goal recently. They've kind of done well this year as well. So Martin Boyle's back fit for as well. He's been doing well as well. So Hibs will be a decent opponent for us tomorrow. Obviously Easter Road. Sometimes we've no went there and we've drew and we've not really put on good performances sometimes at Hibs. But last year we did do well against them. So I think obviously, Alan, it's going to be probably Celtic turns up, Alan. Are they going to be kind of a wee bit down for the game during the week, or is that going to spur them on to continue to go and go? No, listen, look, right, it's done. We need to just put it aside. We need to continue this domestic form, and we obviously need to try and go and get the treble. But what's your thoughts on the game, man? Do you think the manager might make a few changes? Obviously, tired legs during the week, or do you think he'll try and continue to play the best? Obviously, I know we've got Aberdeen on Tuesday, so how do you think you'll set up, Alan? How do you think you'll go into the game?
Well, we're back for the big table, and we're back to kind of domestic dominance, shall we say. We'll hear these stories about kind of American football teams want to buy into our rivals. So obviously, I get the way that's thought of, right? So they can't win any trophies here. So they're going to go. Rangers are going to go for a Super Bowl now. They're going to try and win that, aren't they? So, well, no fun in games, no seriousness, but yeah, we're looking at Hibs tomorrow. They have been impressive of late. They didn't start the season well whatsoever, basically. But their recent run of form is definitely, you need to look at that. I think the next two games are obviously very important because I think possibly two of your harder games. I think going to Easter Road just now is possibly one of the hardest games we could come up against in the domestic league. So I've got every thought that we can go there and get the win that's needed. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. The players will have to pick themselves up. I'm sure that Brendan's already done that. I can see for the next two games that we are going to go pretty strong. I don't see us making that many changes. We'll find out today for the press conference if there has been any kind of injury worries, etc. If there is anybody that's got a knock or whatever. But for me, I think the next two games we kind of take lightly. You're looking at potential banana skin, shall we say. You're looking at the majority of our season and we're able to kind of still maintain that level of performance after Champions League games. Let's just hope we can continue to do that tomorrow. But these are kind of the games you go, oh, that's possible. You could make a wee slip up here. So for me, there might be a couple of kind of minor changes, but I think we'll go kind of pretty full strength for next two games. No, like a kind of cup game and who was it before? There was a league game a couple of weeks ago. We kind of made a number of changes. Well, was it Ross County? Is it? No, don't know. But we made a number of changes, like between 6 and 9 changes. I think it was 9 changes for the cup game. I don't see that happening. That's what I mean. We'll find out today, Doc, if we've got any kind of concerns. I've not seen it kind of publicised much, so we'll find out today. But I see he's got pretty full strength, to be honest, barring any injuries. What do you think yourself, mate?
I think you're probably best to keep it strong, Alan, and try and keep a bit of momentum as well. Maybe 1 or 2 changes. Possibly Ralston might come in for Johnson. I think either will play up front, and maybe somebody might go out wide, and maybe Jota might not play or Kuhn, depending on injuries. I think it all depends on Alan, like he says, the pressure, how people have come out the game, are they fully health, is there we not? We don't know yet, so I think it's hard to pick a team or suggest a team when you don't really know who's injured or who's fully fit or who's got a knock. So, but I think you will see a few changes. I think the full defence probably might stay the same, take away Ralston. I think for me, anyway, I don't know what you think, Mike, but for me, the defence is a place where I don't like too much changes. It's probably, I don't mind the odd change in midfield or up front, but I want to try and keep, obviously Vickers is sometimes maybe no playing due to his knee or what, I'm sure his knee or his groin, whatever it is, it's fully I'm out with him. on his foot. But I tend to want to keep my back four as much as possible. So if I'm going to change anything, maybe a left or right back, take away that. I'd want to try and keep my two pair. I don't know what you feel on that, Alan, but it's the positions on a park that I want to try and keep the same, because I think if you move your defence all the time, they're the guys that really need to know each other. I
You
know
want them to
midfield.
be familiar, especially you
Aye.
want a familiar back four in front of Scott Bain, so can but no, in all seriousness, you look at you want to keep that kind of familiarity. Uh, and
Yeah, Peter, we've got Aberdeen during the week. Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday,
So,
8 PM kicker.
aye,
It must
crazy
be
time.
televised. Aye.
I'll need to have a look at the fixtures after that, Peter. I know we've got St Mirren next Saturday. I'm not shooting in. I don't know if
Then
that's
there's
us.
nothing to Rangers. No, there's
That's
the
us.
cup game.
Aye, the cup
Hibs.
game. That's a Saturday, isn't it? So
Aye,
Sunday, sorry,
and
no,
then
straight to a Sunday.
and then Rangers.
Aye, so I don't think we have the next 2 or 3 weeks anyway.
No, it'll
No.
just be the Aberdeen game,
Aye.
and then that's us. So, aye. So, what are we talking about? Aye, the back four. Aye, so I think it's probably important that you keep that together. The only change I could probably see happening is if Scales comes in for maybe Carter Vickers. I think they like to kind of keep Carter Vickers as fresh as possible, but for me, I would probably keep it the same back four. What just key teams are now, aye. Aye. So I'd personally I'd be going with Schmeichel, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty. I think Taylor will come back in. I'm saying that, I know. I think Taylor will come back in. I think he's Schlipp's played quite a lot recently, and he's just kind of come into the club. I think there's a possibility that Taylor comes back into the team. I think you're looking at Callum McGregor. I think it'll be the same. Callum McGregor, Real Hatate, and Arnie Engels. And I think it'll be the same up front, I know. I think it'll be Dyson Maeda, Jota, and Nicholas Kuhn. I can see the possibility of kind of bringing Ida in. But then you've got the situation of who you dropping out of the A3. You've got two positions on the wing, so who you dropping there? And I know it's rotation, I know it's a squad game, etc. But do you think either Jota, Kuhn, or Maeda deserve to be dropped after the other night? No, for me. So I could for me, it's difficult until we hear the press conference, and it's obviously difficult until we kind of know Brendan's way of thinking, how tired the players are, etc. So, but for me, right now, I can only see maybe Taylor coming in first look, but I think the rest of the team, I think maybe stays the same. Don't know what you think, mate.
Kind of the same. I think I'll still come in for Johnson, but I think the rest will stay the same in terms of Vickers, Trusty and Taylor. Slip, I think Slip will continue to play. The midfield, I think, will be the same as you. I think the midfield will be the same. I think they might make more changes during the week. I think the away games, as much as Aberdeen will be tough, I think it's tougher to play away than it is at Celtic Park, so I would stick with the same midfield. I think the the front three, I think if Kuhn is injured, I think he'll put Jota to that side. He'll play Maeda on the left, and I think he'll play Ida through the middle. But if Kuhn's fit, I would just keep the same team, the same up three. That is a harsh on Ida as well, because obviously the big man's obviously on a bit of form now. He's a bit of momentum in terms of his goal scoring and domestically, so he would be looking to play, which if he plays, that's fine, absolutely fine. He's done well at Easter Road in the past. Obviously, last season he came in and done really well for his last year there, so it'll be good confidence to go back to somewhere
How
where he's
many
done well.
goals has Maida scored against Hibs? It's just coming out of my head.
He's
He's
scored a few, you
constantly
know.
scores against him, doesn't he?
Aye,
I just
so
kind
no,
of.
aye. So obviously, I think the bench will be key as well tomorrow, Alan, because there will be some of the players that will maybe get to 60 minutes and will be tired. So his team selection, well, I know he bases it on that, I don't know, but it could be based on that as well, because Ida, obviously, I think 21 minutes, Yang, the same, so they'll be fresh. So if they're able to come off the bench and energises, and McKibben
Somebody
as well.
asking
So
about Bernardo there. I think he's out for 5 or 6 weeks.
I think he's out for 5 or 6 weeks, Peter. Yeah, so maybe 4 or 5 weeks now. So again, Aaron, like you say, we don't know in terms of the pressure, but I think the bench will be key as well, especially if the game isn't going the way that you want it until the second half. Bring on Yang, need a bit of freshness. McKibben could come in and fresh it. So I think the bench is obviously better in domestic wise. It might be in Europe, but especially domestically, either Yang, McKibben, they can come up. Even Johnny Kenny, they can come in and help you. So I think you're right, mate. It'll just depend on obviously the pressure. But obviously, Alan, overall from during the week and into the weekend, obviously Aberdeen the rest of the season. I know we'll probably back on Monday night as usual, but what's your thoughts leading up to tomorrow, and obviously what's your thoughts the rest of the season?
Yeah, I'm pleased with the performance the other night. I think we've stepped up a massive level there. As I say, it was obviously difficult to take at the time. It was a kind of a gut punch, shall we say, but when you reflect on the matter, when you reflect on the performance, when you reflect on the calibre of opposition we were up against, I think it was a kind of heroic performance. I think we kind of outperformed ourselves, shall we say. I think I don't remember us having that kind of calibre of performance for a while. So yeah, it's got to bode well, and it's got to be positive going forward. You're looking at 13 points clear at present. We're in a great position to win the league. You're looking at the second favourites of the Scottish Cup were eliminated after Spider-Man's. So you're looking at we're in a great position to pick up a treble, but we can't be complacent. We need to make sure we're professional, organised, don't take our eye off the ball. We need to make sure that we just keep going one game at a time. I know it's all cliche, but one game at a time, keep picking up the wins, and hopefully we can come out with another dominant season and another treble, which I think will be 6 in 10 years or something. Be something like that. Something something daft anyway.
Well, we done our quadruple, didn't we? And then so I'll be last year. No, Ange, and then 6. So I'll be 6 and about just say 12, 10 years.
Very positive for the rest of the season. I think the next 2 games are massively important, especially with how much effort work we put into the other night. So I think we win these 2 games, you're looking at we can. I'm not saying the league's over, but it puts us in an outstanding position to finish off the league, because they'd probably say Hibs away, Aberdeen, 2 no your most difficult games, but some of them you can put that up there with some of your most difficult games you've got domestically. So we get 6 points out the next 2 games. I think we can look forward with massive positivity.
No, I agree with you, mate. I think if you win tomorrow and you beat Aberdeen, and then you've got basically, I know you've got the cup game, but you've got an unbelievable massive game, and you win that at Celtic Park against them, it's done. He's finished. So that could put you to, if they don't drop any more points and we don't drop any more points, and then you beat them at Celtic Park, that's 16 points. It's finished. No, I know mathematically it's not finished, but they if they go to Celtic Park and get beat,
7 games to go, so 21 points available and 16 ahead.
So they'll know in themselves it's finished. That'll be the nail in their kind of season, basically. So
we win every game up to the split, doesn't matter where they do. We'd win the league before the split. So
I'm agreeing with you, Alan. If you win tomorrow and then you beat Aberdeen, then obviously the players won't be, the manager won't be, but I think us as fans are thinking, right, you go and beat them at Celtic Park, it's party time. Do you know what I mean? Even if you didn't beat them at Celtic Park and you get a draw, still party time, because there's not a chance you're losing 5-6 games. It's just not happening.
Well, will we be for that, right?
I'm sorry, Tenerife, mate.
Whoa! No, we love this.
No long, mate. But no, I think obviously that's in a few weeks' time we'll digest, obviously, game tomorrow in Aberdeen, but in the cup game you still got that's a massive game, like you say, Alan. If we could go and win another treble, Alan, again, due to these interests, listen, they could get taken over, right? Listen, they could. People are saying it's not happening. Listen, it generally could, right? But if it does, brilliant for them. We'll just continue what we're doing. But nothing will overshadow, in my opinion, what happens to them. If we win another treble, Alan, that's humongous achievement. Because they keep saying, oh, anytime you've won anything, we've not been in the league recently, stuff like that. Well, a lot of your trebles, you've been in the league. So it's the media will give credit on another day, but if we don't win a treble and you've nearly beat Bayern Munich to potentially qualify for the latter stages, you've done well in the format of the Champions League. Again, this is all ifs and buts. Treble's no one. It's if we do win a treble, and that's sensational, mate. And it's something like you say, we're in an amazing position as a fan base. What we're watching now, mate. So if we can get our treble, mate, obviously it's still a long way to go. But if we were to do that, like you say, mate, that's to win maybe 6 and between 10 and 12 years, Alan. That's
Somebody put in the comments, it's 9 years, I thought it was.
9 years. There you go. Then I'm trying in a broader horizon. Just say it was 6 and 12, 10 years, 9. That means I've seen what O'Neill done one, so I've potentially seen 7 trebles. That's good going, mate.
Where can we put my mantelpiece if we win this one? We should own the whole of Scottish football. So, no, as in all seriousness, it's great to have that kind of domestic dominance, shall we say. Aye, that's right. Insane numbers, the amount of trophies. Aye, so, and we've slightly added to that this year with a credible kind of performances in the Champions League. So it's not just kind of dominance. We are kind of stepping it up a notch. Small bits at a time, but it's definitely a move in the right direction the way we're performing in Europe.
Oh, in terms of Europe, Alan, I think obviously we've had a few, shall I say, scuddings in the past. Really dark low nights away from home, especially. The odd PSG, Celtic Park and things like that. But sometimes eventually it turns for you, and I think hopefully now it's looking like it's turned for us. Getting away from home and getting a point in Atlanta. If it was a group stage, it would have been a point in Bayern Munich. Yes, we didn't win the game, but still to go to Bayern Munich and draw is not for faint-hearted. A lot of teams in Germany go there and get absolutely annihilated. Some teams in Europe go there who have spent more money than us, go and get annihilated. So overall, it's a piece so far this season, Alan. It's been a tremendous season. Obviously, getting put out, it's not successful getting put out in the latter stages, but for us, it's a success. And I've seen some, especially Jason Cundy down south, basically tried to diminish anything we've done. It's crazy. Whether his team's Chelsea's in the Conference League. So that's where the Chelsea are spending millions and pounds. Billions have spent since they've come in. So be a bit of perspective in terms of, yes, they've got a harder league than us, but they didn't do well. They're in the conference. So bit of perspective. A lot of people like to put on Celtic of this and of that. They're the Witten boys. Celtic have got to nearly the latter stages of the Champions League and his team are in the conference. So I think sometimes, I know it's a laugh and a joke with him down south, but bit of perspective and be honest. Don't be Celtic or this and that. You need to be honest. So no, I'm agreeing with you. It's about moving forward as we go in the league and domestically, and let's just hope potentially another treble in the bag. But if you do like the content and you do like me and Alan talking kind of rubbish, if you want to call it that. JP as well, he'll be back next week. If you do like us three talking and about Celtic, obviously Barry Bannon will be back on very soon as well. They are playing tonight, so good luck to you guys tonight and team. If you do like the content, please subscribe. It's for free. It's all free. Everything we do is free. Any like on the stream as well, it helps us. So please like the wee like button on the stream. It helps us get out there. It helps us put content to you, and it helps us get as many guests as we can. Hopefully, can up the rest of the season. But we'd add on a bonus ball. If you do look on the bottom of the running bar, it is a signed Joe Miller frame and jersey. That is the signature from Joe on the jersey. It is from sorry, it is from Joe himself. It is Joe's jersey. There is the what you all want, the signed authenticity, to prove it's real and it's not a scam. So that is obviously the real thing. A wee plaque from Joe there just to prove it's hand signed. Joe with the cup, and obviously the real deal. That is the signed jersey framed, and it is obviously the wee plaque in the bottom as well. It is £5 per ball. We have 13 numbers left. If you don't have PayPal, you can let us know. Myself and Alan and JP, we're on Twitter personally, and we're also on every social media platform. Myself and JP do have Facebook personally as well, so you can get us on that as well. That is the PayPal link if you do want a wee ball. Like I said, there's 13 left, so we'll hopefully get that done the next week or two, if we can, if you do want a wee ball for the jersey. But again, Alan, good to chat to you, mate. It's been a nice wee chat as well on this rainy Friday morning. It's not a nice day. It's not a nice day in Glasgow. But again, mate, we'll be back Monday, I think, as usual. Lindsay, put you down for 2 more. Okay, Lindsay, I'll do that once we're finished the show. Thanks, Lindsay. Thank you. Appreciate it once again. So, Aaron, back Monday night as usual, I think, mate. Yep. So we'll see you then. Hopefully talk about a good performance and a good victory. But until then, mate, I'll see you very soon, mate. Take care. Hail, hail.